Hello and welcome to a walkthrough by Commander Ogden from Ogden Gaming. Maybe, possibly, I don't know. Okay, so this is going to be the second, I guess, tutorial walkthrough from Minecraft, and it's going to be dealing with spelunking. So going into dungeons, or, well, not specifically dungeons in this game, but going underground and finding materials and so on. So in the first video I mentioned that I started in the forest, and that is not correct. This is not actually a forest at all. And so there's a different way of navigating through forest. So I'm going to go over what that is. And oh, there's a spider there. Should have gotten rid of these monsters first. Okay, so we're going to go over what you need to prepare in order to enter into the deep, dark depths. So I've set up a little beacon here, and I will show you how to do this, and I've also set up a navigation system. So let's talk a little bit about how you find your way around, especially in a forested area. So there's two ways that you can do it. The first is to make a whole bunch of these beacons. Now, you need to put them in locations where you can see them based on your visual distance. So, every, I don't know how many squares it is, but over by that tree where you would set up your next beacon, and you keep setting them up that distance apart. So in order to get one of these set up, you would basically just put dirt underneath yourself, so jump and right click, and then right click there, jump, right click there, until you get yourself, high enough so that you can see. And you may want to do is put a little torch up top, just so that you can see it from a far distance. So that will help you. Unfortunately, in forests, there tend to be a lot of trees in the way, and doing this system will require you to set up a whole bunch of these, which means that the one that is for your base needs to be different. So we'll do that another time. But probably a better way to navigate through forest is to set up objects in the world that are not normally created. So you can't use grass. You probably shouldn't use bricks because they look really similar during the nighttime. But wood like this stands out really well. So you make a pattern somewhere, and you can just leave it if you want, or you can chop it down on your way back. But you should always build out from your base. So just make sure that you have a pattern going. That way, if there's trees in the way, you can see where these blocks are headed, and you can follow them back to your house. For spelunking, what we are going to need is some equipment. So the shovel and the sword and your pickaxe and whatnot, that is good, but you probably want a large number of torches. So I took the liberty of gathering a bunch of torches before we started this scenario, and part of the reason I talked about navigating through this is you might want to just look for coal. So I took the route of chopping down trees and turning the charcoal into or turning the trees into charcoal, and I got my torches that way. So I killed some spiders, and they drop string, which I can pick up from here. So I've got plenty of string, and pull out my wooden planks. So I've already got some sticks. What am I doing? So you make a bow by making an object that looks like this. So there we have it. There's our bow. I don't have any arrows right now because you need flint. Oh wait, no. Okay, so I don't have flint. I'll show you how to make that as soon as I gather some, but for the moment, what I'll also do is make some armor if I can. Yep, so here we go. We've got plenty of leather. And you make armor by fashioning it somewhat like the object would be. So there's your breastplate. There's your pants. There's your helmet. And there's your boots. So those are all of the pieces of armor you can make. Now I'm going to make some armor, but I'm not going to wear it because there's been a lot of starts where you might not have these materials, and you probably want to get started spelunking as quickly as possible because that's where you find all your good materials. So here's the armor that I'm making. So there it is, my armor. So we'll just put this in the chest here. Okay, so without further ado, let's head out and do some spelunking. So you want to keep your torch ready. And the way to find your way around is to always place them on one particular side. Now you can go left or right, whatever your preference is. I'm just going to put them on the left-hand side. Okay, so there's our first monster. Oh, there's two monsters. I hate skeletons. There we go. Okay, so this is volume 1 of Spelunking. It's not part 1 because it might not evolve into separate parts. This is just the lowest level of Spelunking. Not the lowest as in far down, but basically you don't want to go too far because you'll run into dangers that you can't handle, especially if you're not wearing armor and you're not necessarily, fully prepared and stocked with arrows and whatnot in order to go through the locations. So we have some more iron here, which we're going to try and pick, and you'll note that nothing is happening. Something I didn't mention before is that certain materials require certain tools. So this iron here requires a stone pick, and I believe diamond requires a iron pick. So you just pick out the iron here. There we go. So that was cave number 1. So again, we don't want to go, and it looks like this is leading outside. So again, we don't want to go too far. So after we reach this point, we're just going to turn around, and we're going to go follow one of my other wooden pathways that I made. See what's in the next dungeon. Or the next underground cave system. Oh! There is another skeleton. Okay, so I'm going to eat some delicious steak to heal myself. Again, always a good idea to carry around food with you and make sure that you're fully healthy when you're doing this. Wow, there's a lot of them. So your first routes through here will probably be looking for coal, and some iron to help you craft some equipment to make yourself ready. Oh yeah, flint. So I should try to get some flint. You get flint from... where is it? I know it was there somewhere. Alright, we'll go over it again later. You get flint from... oh, there we go. You get flint from gravel. Now, you've only got a chance for gravel to drop, but you can keep hitting the gravel repeatedly. So... oh, there's a piece of flint. I'll just dig out all of this gravel here. So as I said before, flint makes arrows, and gravel is an interesting material in that it is affected by gravity. So you probably noticed and likely found it somewhat odd that I could place bricks in the middle of the air that were fully functional. And gravel doesn't work like that. Gravel will fall if the stone or block underneath of it is removed. So this is really useful if you want to get around in locations that drop a long way. So you can't place a block directly in the air. You have to place it next to another block. And gravel allows you to do that. So you can drop the gravel down, and I'll show you in just a second here what I mean by that. Oh, there is a lot of gravel in here. So let's pull out our gravel. There's our gravel. Okay, so you see that this is the drop here. Put the gravel, and it drops. And I can make myself a nice little stairway. And then I can, if I want, dig it back down. So that's how you can navigate into deep chasms. Very useful. Now again, I said that I was going back up, wherever up was. up was here. So I'll use my gravel to create a little staircase. Ah. Really disorganized. Okay, so on to the pathway we are going to look for. So again, I'm going to be following my, my wooden blocks, which I've set out to the next little cave system. So you can see it's getting dark, and I don't have a bed yet, which we'll go over where you get that. So I'm going to start putting them on the right-hand side. Okay, so there's some more stone. And again, this is sort of a pattern that you'll repeat for a little while. You'll do this until you're fully stocked up and ready. Again, you really want to get coal, but if you get unlucky, which I appear to be getting now, you can just use trees for it, and it works out okay. Okay, so darkness, if you're spelunking, if you're underground, it really doesn't matter. I mean, you can be underground during the day or at night, and it's all going to be the same, because monsters are going to spawn regardless. So I'm going to go down into one of the deeper caverns. Just going to go a little way. Oh, what is that? I don't want to go down there. How does the cow get down here? There's no grass down here. Okay, so something about monsters is that they always try to approach you. So even if they can't reach you, they'll always head in your direction. So if, for example, that skeleton was standing here, he would keep bumping up against this wall until he couldn't bump up against that wall any longer. Again, here's my wooden pathway, which I will take back to my my little underground cave thingy. Okay, so those are creepers, and last time we didn't really get to see what they did, but if you notice the terrain here, it's been blasted, had some creeper attacks. They didn't like me much. So you should always leave like a window so that you can see outside, so you know when it's day and when it's night. And I didn't show you iron, so I got the iron, but I didn't show you how I did it, so we're just going to go ahead and do that now. So here's the iron. And I still need to make coal, don't I? Because I haven't found any. Oh, I'll use charcoal. Okay, so again, it's a 1:8 ratio, so we'll put in 8 of them. Doesn't matter if it's meat or... whatever. Meat or stone, it all takes 8. And while we're doing that, I will show you how to craft arrows. So there were chickens around, and chickens drop feathers. Now you might have gotten unlucky and not have been near a chicken spawn or near a cow spawn or anything that would be useful. So again, I'm not going to wander through with the arrows, but they are useful for hitting enemies from afar. So you make arrows like this, with the flint, the stick, but the feather, and you get 4 arrows each, which you can then craft into usable weaponry. Now I mentioned that gravel can be struck multiple times. So basically, if you don't get any flint and you have plenty of gravel, just put it back down and break it again. And there is a 10% chance that you will get a flint drop from breaking the gravel. Come on, you can do it. No, you can have them. Start cooperating. It can happen. Trust me, it can. Maybe if I use a shovel. Nope. Oh, there we go. Okay, so there was our first flint from gravel. So, as you can see, that's not very prosperous. I mean, you're probably better off finding new gravel deposits and just turning them down, but if you're in a pinch and you need more flint, that is what you can do. This game is quite time-consuming, so I guess that's part of the fun of it. So that was spelunking, and I'm just gonna go and charge down into one of the deeper sections of the cave to give you a better idea of what you're going to be looking at. And I'm just putting this material back because I'm probably gonna die. So here we go. Stop lagging. Yeah, monsters tend to be silent if they can attack you, and they're very noisy if they can't attack you. Ha! Killing each other. That is awesome. Wow, that was intriguing. Okay, so this is the basics of spelunking. You know, you can go deeper just by digging. So, you know, you don't really have to follow the cave system. You can go make your own caves. In fact, we'll be talking about that later when we do strip mining. But that is the basics of spelunking. This is Volume 1. Again, this is just going in the first levels, and we'll be looking at the next stage of this in another tutorial, or another walkthrough, whatever you want to call it. Anywho, thanks for watching, and I'll sign off here. Okay, I'm back, and I'm not sure if you want me to do this, so let me know if you do. I just figured I'd go through the finished product with you and explain a little bit more about what I mean by, first level spelunking. And basically, you only take one deviation path. So I entered that big cavern, and that cavern spread off into a number of paths. So if I went down this tunnel and it spread off again, I wouldn't take it. Like, I'd stop at that point. But it doesn't. It just keeps going straight. And it doesn't really matter how far it goes for. I mean, basically, you're just worried about getting lost. And if you go down really deep, you'll start getting into lava, which is dangerous. But yeah, so this is just the the finished dungeon cavern thing that was dug out. And yeah. So that's the sort of thing you can expect, and you'll get lots of materials, and you can see that I've upgraded my equipment already. And once you're finished, clearing this place out, you are ready to move on, which is what we're going to be discussing next. So now for reals, I am signing out. Thanks for watching.